In this video, I want to take a look at a game against Tony, not his real name. And, well, the game is actually pretty similar to another game that we played, which I've already analyzed, and I will leave a link in the description. So, we have another Philidor, and I played c3. And he plays g4 once again. Bishop c4, we've played this before, but now instead of going knight c6, which is a blunder, he goes knight to f6, which is actually pretty good because, well, after queen b3 you don't play this move, which he played again, bishop e6. Instead you sacrifice the pawn with d5, and well, taking with the bishop is better. If you take with the pawn, then knight bd7 and black is just fine. Well, black has the threat of pushing the pawn, so then just want to play d3. If you get greedy and take on b7, after rook b8, if you take the other pawn, then bishop c5 comes with a tempo, queen a4, castles, and now there's a lot of threats. e4 is a threat, taking and damaging the pawn structure is also a threat. And, well, black has more than enough compensation because pretty much the development of black's pieces is massive. The only piece that's still on its original square is the black queen, and white needs to castle. This bishop is not gonna come out until one of the pawns moves, and this knight also needs to come out, but is it really gonna come to a3? I mean, that looks like a terrible square. And how are you gonna activate this rook? So yeah, you have the material, but the development is terrible. But after bishop e6, white is just winning, just like in the previous game. But here, he couldn't play knight e7, obviously, because, well, there's no knight on the c6 square. So he played bishop e7, which is what he should have played in the other game, although the position is already different. And here I played d3, which is the best move. I do find the best move sometimes. Queen d7, which again he played that in the previous game. Knight g5, which is what I played, and I figured, well, knight g5 can't be that bad because I won the previous game. So, and here, well, you can't defend both pawns. And knight c7 also wins the exchange, so king d7. But now I take here, and after knight f5, the best move was just taking on g2, after which king f1. The rook can't really stay on the second rank, so I don't think black has enough compensation, and the engines agree with me. Instead, he went knight c6, just not taking the pawn, which I thought was just a terrible move. Which, well, okay, so if you allow me to defend the pawn and castle, I will do so. And I will develop my pieces, maybe play f4 at some point. And now he went h5, and now I understand why he didn't take the pawn when he could. He wanted to line up the rooks along the g file and push the pawn in order to attack g2 and hopefully get a checkmating attack. But that's just wishful thinking, because, well, the knight on f5 defends the g3 square, so I can just play g3, and even if he can capture, I can take with the pawn. Yeah, the F pawn probably, and that should be okay. But I figured, well, I'm up enough material. I should just simplify the position and just win like a technical endgame. Knight f3, which defends h2 and potentially prevents this pawn from coming down the board. g3, pretty much the only move. Now h4, which I couldn't believe this guy just like, really? I mean, I could just take it. But then I thought, well, after takes, you play something like rook h8, and well, there is the threat of taking. Obviously, I cannot take back because of the pin. So if I go king h1, I just didn't feel comfortable because I might miss something in this position. Knight g4 can happen, and well, I didn't want to really be on the defensive. Instead, I played what I thought was a clever move, bishop g5, which is actually a blunder. My opponent played knight h5, which is good for me because after rook takes and knight takes and rook takes, the position is equal according to the engines. Although I think that I should be able to win this position, given that, you know, I won the 3 previous games. So knight h5, bishop takes. I mean, now there's just like nothing. The bishop's defending g3, and the pawns are defending g3, so there's nothing for black here. Like, absolutely nothing. And he goes c5, which again is what he played in the other game. So we open up the c file one more time. And here I didn't take right away. Just put more pressure on the pawn. I'm gonna take it anyways. He goes knight c6, but okay, that's just a waste of time. And are you really gonna trade? And the answer is yes, because my opponent apparently is like a little kid. If you can take it, then take it. Even if it's not a good move, just take it because you can. Rook f8, which does absolutely nothing. The only good move is rook d7, holding onto the pawn, which is crucial because the rooks are coming in with a check. And here I checked again, giving up the pawn because, well, I just want to checkmate him in the middle of the board. But there's also this move. So there was like 2 threats. And okay, if you're gonna give me the knight, then, you know, I'll take the knight. And here I was hoping that he would resign, but he didn't want to do that. So I went king g2. The reason being is he wants to come to f3, and then rook c1 would be checkmate. That would be unfortunate. Rook f7, and here I set up a little trap for him. So f3, I knew he was going to take the pawn. And, well, rook e6 check, not rook e5 check, because after takes, you lose the rook, and yeah, you have 2 pawns for the exchange, but this is not what you wanted. Rook e6, and you're just winning the rook for free. And after this, I stopped recording the game because, well, this is just pointless, and there's no point in just analyzing this position. So if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to share and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you in the next video.